something like that. You know,
let's
take a.
I'm totally down.
Go to Japan. Okay, so we've been here. We've been here. I got the Tyson shirt on. That's why you got that stutter.
We ain't going nowhere.
We ain't going nowhere. And then of course over here on YouTube, man, Three Crafty Bastards back with another segment because I got to get my video shit right because I'll be messing it up. So, if you caught the last segment on Facebook, you talked about all the things that you would like to do when the quarantine's lifted and shops start opening back up, and you want to go to the gym, and you want to
travel,
you want to go to restaurants, you want to be free.
I want to get my life back.
Yeah. I mean,
but it's already been altered. I wonder what's going to stay, what's going to be different.
Which kind of poses the question, like, people use the term new normal, and I'm wondering, you know, is this the new normal? Are we going to go back to the old normal, or is this just normal? Is this just adjusting and people miss the way that things were, right? Yeah. Which then kind of prompted the question we kind of talked earlier, because I was like, I wanted to do something fun, if we're being honest. Like, if you could be any superhero, which one would you be? If you could have any power, which one would you be? If you had 3 wishes, what would you wish for? Which I think is a topic for another time.
Be here for a minute.
Yeah, we really would. And it just kind of prompted a fun discussion because we've been hammering on this COVID-19. And the last time that we did podcasts, we talked about a young lady that lost her job for doing OnlyFans, and that kind of sparked a debate that even when Juan and I were painting, we continued to have this debate because it was like, so, you know, what was your angle? And I was like, well, here's how I feel about it, but it does raise a lot of questions. And we didn't necessarily feel the same, but we understood each other's perspectives in the discussion, you know what I mean? And it was very intuitive, you know, and very insightful. So I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to get away from, like, doing the serious shit, because quite honestly, there was a TikTok that was made by 2 kids, and everybody's been talking about TikTok. You're talking about TikTok, Juan's talking about TikTok. I've seen TikTok, but there was a TikTok made by 2 kids that did a racial TikTok, and they're saying, so they did like a what makes a, and it's like you have this towel in the sink and you're like pouring water on it, and it eventually shows you a name, right?
Right.
Okay, so the N-word was in the sink. They're pouring water in it. So now these kids, they both were in high school. They both been suspended indefinitely. They will not graduate from high school. The one chick lost her scholarship to college. Yeah, I'm not mad. And she's like, you know, black people are humans too. So I was like, man, you just got it all wrong. And that's not what we're here to talk about tonight. Instead of talking about something serious like that, which TikTok we will cover in the future because it is on my docket. I really want to dig into TikTok and why it's the craze and where it originates from, and why people are,
another time.
It's another time, but why people are so interested in it. Right?
I'd love to talk about that next week.
Yeah, let's do it. But what I wanted to talk about was you brought up the topic earlier because you said, man, like, not having a couple of days off in the middle of the week is really messing with my routine, and I need a nap.
Yes.
And I felt that because I've been off for 5 weeks. You know what I mean? I just got back to work this week, so I felt that. And so I want to talk about, like, routines, daily routines, what makes a routine, and some of the pros and cons of having a routine. Yeah. So let me lay my stats on you first, okay? And I did my research, I did my homework, and I searched and I searched and I searched, and I could not find any stat more current than 2017.
Okay.
Which maybe they stopped giving a shit about people's routines after 2017. I don't know, because they are like,
what else what can you do?
Yeah, what is the new norm? But a survey of 2,000 people in 2017, 80% admitted to being stuck, and I use that in quotations, stuck in a routine. Right?
I'm gonna vent if you don't.
Please.
Well, here's my vent, and this goes back to dating. I am an ambitious young man. I'm a young 43, still ambitious. I have goals and dreams and aspirations of reaching certain levels, whether it's job, money, home, car, retirement. You know, I have goals, and I have to get there. I want to own my own business. So when I start dating and I start talking to certain females, hey, are you on this path of trying to do you aspire to more than where you are right now? And a lot of them are like, nah, I kind of like where I'm at. I'm kind of just doing my thing, you know. I've kind of done that and been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. I'm like, well, I'm still climbing the ladder. Are you going to climb with me, beside me? And they're like, nah, you know, I'll support you. I'll watch you. I'll cheerlead for you. But I want someone who's going to be climbing, grinding with me.
Right.
So that's the when I hear routine, I hear complacency.
Really? That's interesting. We're gonna cover that because I have all the information. I don't have all the information, but I got quite a bit of information that I'm gonna try to lay on you in the next 25 minutes. Okay?
Let's get it.
So, daily routines. Is it good to have a daily routine? So I kind of looked on the internet and they kind of did a study on it. And is it good to have a daily routine? Yes or no, and why? And the consensus was, the overall opinion was yes, it is good to have a daily routine. And here's why. It helps us feel more in control of things. Okay? Routine can aid in mental health, help cope with change, help form healthy habits, reduce stress levels. Here's a big one. The lack of healthy stress management routines is the #1 catalyst for heart, well, not #1 catalyst, but a contributor to heart disease.
I can see that.
So if you're stressing all the time,
nobody likes surprises,
right?
And we say that we don't like surprises. Let me take that back. Let me switch. We do like to have surprise. Like someone says, "Hey, what do you drink? What do you want to drink?" I'm like, you know, surprise me.
Sure.
What do you want for dinner? Surprise me.
Yeah,
in life, when you talk about job, car, home, family, the essentials,
right?
Nobody likes surprises. They want to know what's coming next. And if you don't know what's coming next, and it smacks you in the side, like when I was making stupid financial decisions, dude, I probably shaved 10 years off. That's why I got this.
Right. So, the next thing that I kind of wondered was, why is it hard for people to try to stay into a routine, right?
Yep.
And what I gathered was that some people try to take on too many habits at once, too many changes at once, right? Which then kind of throws the ebb and flow off of having an actual routine. Sometimes people have too many things going on at once. Variables like being sick or traveling, having visitors either stay in your home or stay in someone else's home, but you have to visit pretty regularly, maybe from out of town or something like that. And like big projects, and that big projects that can mean anything from installing a dishwasher that might take you a day or two, to having a huge project at work that might take you a week or two. You know, all of these things kind of contribute, because if you're doing something at home and you're let's say doing home improvement, for example, painted last week, right? Now, truth be told, I can't say that I took all the credit for painting. I can't take all the credit for painting because I'm terrible at it, but I helped, right? And just in helping threw off my routine. If I had a routine and I was going to work out and I was going to ride my bike and I was going to do these things, I didn't do it because my only focus in this house was trying to finish that task at hand, right? So it kind of threw off the routine of what I may or may not have done.
Can I add one thing?
Certainly.
I think that when I can't be in a straight routine because I get bored.
We're going to cover that.
Oh, well, I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm just saying I get bored in a routine, which is why I might have some normalcy to who I visit, what I do. There are a couple core things that I do that are just that are routine. When I maybe get lunch at a certain place, I get my haircut at a certain place, I shop at certain places. But every now and then I'm like, I'm tired of this. I'm gonna go shop over there. I'm getting a new barber. I want to go get a mani-pedi. I want to go skydiving. I want to go base jumping. I don't know. I want to do something different.
And those are certainly variables to the routine. But let's be honest. The routine of your week, month, year, right? Mine as well, and maybe anybody else that relates, is you get up, you go to work, you do work, you come home, you do X, Y, Z, you go to bed, you wake up and you do it again.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the routine. That's the routine that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Still boring.
Yeah, 100%. And outside of that, do you know why people have a hard time sticking to habits that they're trying to form or habits that they're trying to develop while forming the routines?
No.
I'm going to give you the top 5. You ready?
I kind of figured you would.
You knew I would. You know I did that research. Number 1 being habits are too difficult. Just too difficult to maintain. No. So, for example, you're not a smoker, right? Mm-mm. But if I was trying to form the habit of quitting smoking, might be a little difficult to maintain because smoking is associated with different behaviors, whether it be having a beer, having a drink, being out with friends, getting in the car after lunch, so on and so forth.
Comfort zone, right?
At 100%. So sometimes the habits are too difficult. You were talking about working out, but you didn't want to work out at home. You'd rather go to the gym. Why? Because the habit of working out at home is too difficult to maintain, which is why you need the discipline of the gym to get you there.
Yeah.
Right?
So why were you questioning me if you already knew the answer?
No, because it prompts a discussion.
Dude, why were you giving me shit when you knew the answer? Because
it's habit forming. It's habit forming.
I'll remember that next time.
Okay, you remember that. We got to move on to number 2. Number 2, this is going to tie in as well. The habit is not enjoyed.
It's not.
So going to the gym, you do not enjoy going to the gym.
I don't.
Is that correct?
I don't.
Which is why you don't want to do it at home, right?
Correct.
Okay. Number 3, no motivation.
I definitely have no motivation to do anything disciplined at home. Home is my sanctuary of comfortability.
Sure.
There is no way that I'm going to do hard work at home. Like when you guys are talking about painting, nah, I'd rather pay somebody to paint.
And I did, but I still needed to help.
Nah, I can't do it, man.
Nah, dude, you're gonna realize
I'm not doing hard work at home.
How much expendable income do you have? Like, why don't you just pay somebody else to live at your house and deal with your problems?
I'm getting close to that point. Truth be known.
Hey, I'm gonna buy this house. Can you live here?
That is on the horizon I'm actually considering getting someone to clean my home.
Why?
Because I'm not disciplined to do it regularly.
It's just you. How dirty does it get?
Dude.
Okay.
Here's my... Hold on. My addiction is shopping.
Okay.
Clothes. Everywhere. I need to throw out clothes. I have no discipline to throw out clothes.
Oh my god.
There's clothes everywhere.
So, you know what? I'm going to get to that. Number 4 is that you miss a day or two and become discouraged. So if you're working out, if you set a goal for yourself, whether it be 2, 3, 4, or 5 days a week, if you miss one of those days, you become discouraged. Like, man, I fucked it up.
Yep.
There's no way that I'm going to be able to get back to where I need to be. And I've been in that position working out at home. Like, I'm not going to work out today. I'm going to drink beer instead. And tomorrow I'll do double.
This is from a study, not from actually talking to me, is it?
No.
This sounds exactly like me. I swear to God, it's like he's scanned my brain and took out everything that I'm about.
I am in your soul. No. Honestly, like this is just kind of doing a little bit of research on the internet.
Man.
And then the last one, let's see if you can relate, because I've been here too. You talk yourself out of it.
I have, but I've gotten better at not doing that.
Right.
I'm better at it.
Okay. So then, that is the reason that people don't necessarily stick to the habits that they're trying to form when forming a daily routine. Right?
Do you still subscribe to the 21 days to make a habit?
No.
I find that the longer if I can get closer to that 21, it is easier for me to follow that routine once I've done it for so many days or weeks in a row, because it's like, well, what else am I supposed to do?
Right.
So if I'm not at the gym, what else am I doing? And like you said, if you decide, hey, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, or I have an appointment, I got to do something, you eventually feel guilty about not being in that 20-day routine.
100%. 100%.
Because I hear you say that a lot.
Yeah, I feel guilty for not...
Now, when you don't get to work out.
Yeah. Like if I go, a day or two without working out, I honestly, I feel it. I feel my morale drop. Yeah. My internal morale drop.
Yeah. I
feel like shit. I feel like I failed. I feel like I did not do what I set out to do. And then I'm just like, well, fuck it.
And that's why I want to get back to the gym, because of how much I was at the gym and the progress I was making at the gym.
Right.
I've gone, what, 7 weeks?
Without going to the gym?
Yeah, because of when they shut them down. I went from.
You can always come over here and lift.
I can, and I've been offered at the Gerardo's, and I'm like, and I was visiting, and they're going through their workouts, and I'm like, well, they got weights, and they have almost a full blown gym downstairs,
right?
Like everything that I would have at a gym, and I still didn't use it. I told you, I'm not disciplined to work out at home. I have to go out to a gym.
Okay, well, that's awesome.
That's terrible. It's awful.
I'm sorry. Like, I feel like this directly ties into what you were saying and some of the stats, but I'm sorry that you feel maybe some of it.
No, I don't feel rotten. I mean, I don't feel rotten. I mean, I've had the opportunity. What I've done in order to maintain my health is I've had to watch my diet.
Right.
So I've had to make sure that I'm not eating nasty on a regular basis. I'm not eating fried chicken and that's the first time I've had fried chicken all year.
Why would you have to bring that up?
That was the first time all year.
I want that so bad. I want Lee's so bad.
It's freaking delicious.
I know. I can't have it. Anyway, okay. So the pros and cons to having routines, because some of the research that I've kind of looked into states that you better hold that.
I think
baby.
That's you, man. I wouldn't touch the table.
No.
I got this little guy.
Some of the research that I've found states that actually routines are beneficial to a point, not 100%. And routines are not for everybody. So if you feel like a routine isn't necessarily for you and you need to have that ambiguity about your day or what you're doing or whatever, that randomness, then that's what works for you. For 80% of Americans, routine is what works. And I'm just going to give a quick rundown of some of the pros and cons of having a routine real quick. And, well, having a routine and not having a routine. So, which would you rather hear first?
Not.
Okay, let's do it. So, some of the cons of having a routine. These are cons of having a routine, okay? The number one is that routines do not work for everybody.
They don't,
which we stated.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is that they do not immediately solve your problems. So, for example, again that quarantine 10, like you said, getting into a routine of working out regularly. If I was to not see any kind of results over maybe say a week or 2 weeks, it becomes discouraging, right?
Totally.
Doesn't solve the problem. Having that routine does not necessarily solve the problem. And that could be with anything. It could be with work. It could be with going to the gym. It could be with whatever.
I agree.
Number 3 is unpredictable life, and I use that in quotations, can impact routines. So you get in your car in the morning, you get ready to drive to work, your radio doesn't work, your car doesn't start, your engine is blown, you know, any of these things, your wipers don't work and it's raining. Any of these things can have an impact on your routine. And keep in mind, this is an overall daily routine. We're not just talking about getting in the routine of going to the gym. We're not talking about getting into the routine of what you eat, when you eat, so on and so forth. This is your typical daily routine, and some of the reasons that having that daily routine isn't necessarily great for you. Number 4 is you risk boredom.
That's what I was saying earlier.
Right? And the monotony of everything. Yep. It's day in, day out, the same thing. You're bored of me saying it already.
Yep. Shut up.
Right? Yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. Number 5, and this is a huge one. This was probably the biggest for me when I was reading, is you could stop growing.
I believe it.
You get in routine, you get comfortable. Everybody does it. When you date somebody, you get into a routine.
Yep.
You get comfortable. You decide that this is the norm. The possibility, I'm not going to say you do stop growing, but there's the possibility that you stop growing because the both of you are comfortable where you're at. And as long as she's comfortable, you're comfortable, right?
Yep. Comfort zone and complacency.
Now, here's a huge one, actually, that kind of spoke to me as well. Number 6, you may find less creativity and inspiration in life, right? So my routine is that I crack a beer, I partake in having a bowl of Cheerios, and then I head down to the basement and I decide that I want to drum for a little bit, right? But what am I really drumming? I'm drumming songs that I know or that I'm practicing. I'm drumming for fun. I'm just practicing. Where is the creativity? Where is the inspiration to keep on drumming?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it because it's an outlet, not because I necessarily am like, hey, I want to create.
Yep.
I want to inspire myself or whomever else is down here with me to do something different. Let's do this. Let's do this. That's not to say that I haven't been in situations where I've been in the basement drumming or jamming with other people that haven't been inspired to do better. I have 100%. But when you become complacent, and that does become routine, you do find less creativity. That spoke volumes to me, because I just didn't have the inspiration to play anything other than what I was listening to.
Yep.
And then finally, number 7 is the routines are hard work, and they rely. They are, and they rely on dedication. They rely on dedication. To work out at home versus going to the gym,
for me,
relies on dedication and is hard work. If it wasn't hard work, you'd do it, right?
Well, I look at my routine at home, and to me, I can do it in my sleep.
Right.
Which doesn't involve anything difficult.
Sure.
Well, I know that when I get home from work, I put my work things down to where I put them where I know where they are for the morning.
Sure.
Every time.
You lay your clothes out, you lay your lunch out.
I put my things down. I get out of my uniform. I probably use the restroom, but I usually start thinking, okay, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's for dinner? Either I've already picked something up or I'm starting to fix something after dinner. I got a couple hours of TV, maybe, or, Facebook or whatever, social media. I know I got to be in bed in a couple hours, so let's get it done.
Right.
And then I need to be able to make sure that I'm headed to bed at a certain hour. So I don't feel like that's difficult.
Like right now?
Yes. Yes. I did say, what time was I supposed to be trying to go to bed? Because I got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, he was trying to get there. He was trying to get there at 9. Anywho.
But yeah, those are things that this is definitely, this part of coming here to do this podcast when I know I got to be working in the morning, for me, that's work.
Right. Okay. That's good work, though. You got strawberry beer. Shut your mouth. Anywho, okay, so that was the cons of developing a routine and how it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. Here are the pros, and then we're going to kind of bring this to a head with some final thoughts from both myself and Mr. Classic. Pros. Number 1, you're more efficient in achieving goals if you become routine.
Yeah, you have practices that make you successful.
100%. You will be less stressed, healthier, and happier.
Because you know what's coming.
Right. You won't procrastinate as much.
I don't know about that one.
It depends.
You said as much.
As much. Number 4, you can potentially be more dependable. Yeah. So developing a routine leads to dependability because you are used to being... I guess available.
You're like clockwork.
Yeah.
So I know that if I know my routine, I know what I can and can't do.
Right.
So when I've worked with people, I have to get mentally prepared for certain things.
Right.
And when I can't get mentally prepared for those things, they create, and for me, it's an unnecessary stress. If you would have just went along with my plan, that is probably going to be successful, I would be stressed.
Right.
So when you decide to be 5, 10, 15 minutes late or an hour, that jack, and I can't get to the movies on a date to see the previews, we got problems.
Yeah,
I almost don't want to go on a date if I'm going to be late. Or let's pick a later show. It screws me up.
Really?
It does. That's why I might not be dateable.
Okay, so number 5 was... you'll be used to the demands of real life. Examples: going to work every day, getting enough sleep, so on and so forth. Meaning that if you get up and you go to work and that's what you do, it's just your routine, you are less likely to miss work because your norm is going, regardless of the circumstances.
But you know what gets me to work every day?
Money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know that that's where my paycheck comes from. So if I don't go to work, I don't get that paycheck. I will sleep in the parking lot.
Right.
If I knew I was gonna be late, I would sleep. I've done that before at a job. I stayed out late. I had to be at work in like 2 hours. I went and stayed in the parking lot and set my alarm clock on my watch.
Wow.
That was a long time ago where we had watches and not cell phone.
That's
anyway, it was I set my alarm clock and got up and went into work on time though, even though I only had maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours sleep.
That is disgusting.
That's what that's what I felt like I had to do. I got it done somehow.
Okay, all right.
I was there on time, and I kind of just floated through work for like 6 hours.
So then, number 6 is you will become better at habit forming, meaning that forming habits, like we kind of talked about earlier, will become easier for you because you're incorporating one thing at a time into an already existing daily routine.
Yep.
Number 7. You're holding the baby.
I didn't know that was a number.
Who wins here? You're holding the baby. Number 7, it promotes life structure.
Yeah.
So having a routine promotes having structure in your life, which then presents less stress, so on and so forth. And then finally, it supposedly, and this is the internet. You know, they always tell the truth.
If it's on the internet, it must be true.
It has to be. It supposedly makes it easier to focus. And
see that?
Sometimes I have an easy time focusing. I would have to say that 95. No, let's be realistic. 90% of the time, my life is pretty routine.
I can see that.
You know, and I'm okay with that.
Is it Robert Covey or Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Successful People?
I read those.
7 habits.
I read those in doing this research.
So that's why habits are actually good.
Right. But routines are not necessarily good because you're reliant on the routine. Let me tell you a quick story and then final thoughts real quick. So a couple of years ago, I was not the traveling kind. I got in a situation where I was told we were going here, we're going there, we're going here, we're going there, and suddenly traveling started to be the norm. Part of the reason that I didn't travel is because I was always afraid to travel. If I'm driving to Michigan, if I'm driving to Ohio, wherever, what if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? What if I'm stuck? What happens if this happens? What happens? You know, and quite honestly, on a couple of those trips, those things happen. But I wasn't afraid to travel anymore because traveling became the new norm for me because I developed a habit to start traveling, be less afraid to travel, and now that habit has been formed where I know that there's a possibility that some things are going to happen. I'm not going to let it prevent me from making a habit of traveling whenever possible.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing. The routine of not traveling was probably more harmful to me than
the
routine of traveling.
Yeah.
So, final thoughts.
I probably have routines and habits, but I get bored. I get bored with regular things.
Right.
So when I do the same thing over and over and over, like I haven't worked a 5-day Monday through Friday schedule I'm working on decades. Okay. I haven't had a normal schedule probably. Okay, I'm 43. I can probably say decades. Okay, so having this schedule and trying to have a habit of when to go to sleep, when to get up, when to eat, when to have lunch, almost even when to go to the bathroom. It's I gotta do something different. Like that's why I like my days off in the middle of the week. I can do something completely different.
Right.
So that would take me out of that schedule, take me out of that grind. So that's more relaxing than running that grind. So I get bored easy. My mind races. Anyone knows my mind races? I'm an overthinker. Always thinking. What's next? What's different? What are we doing?
30 seconds.
So I'm out.
Really? So I'm 30 seconds.
Because I got more than 30 seconds to say, and that's not going to work.
No, I mean, we just got 30 seconds for the video.
No, it's fine.
No, okay. Well, I don't have any final thoughts. He could have kept talking.
No.
But... Did you really say meat soup? Oh, dude.